This is the model of a Queen Anne chair that I recently constructed, walnut. The original was probably made around 1720, 1740, and every piece in this chair is shaped in many directions. There are hardly any right angles in any part of this construction. So I relied heavily on the SketchUp detail design to work out the details. In the Queen Anne period, they wanted to make the chairs more comfortable, and you can see the back leg shape and also this back slat and how it's shaped, serpentine shaped to help support the back. And I'll go through some of the steps that I used to create that shaped back slat. I started with a scan of a sketch in Wallace Nutting's Furniture Treasury, Volume 3, and there's a little image in the background here on which I traced over the shapes. The flat shapes using the arc tool and the line tool. You can see some of these shapes in a gray color, like that front view of that leg, and then the back view over here of the leg. But the back slat itself is shown here in white. This view is X-ray, so you can see the image behind those shapes that I've made. And then over here you can see the edged, the side view shaping of that back slat, kind of a serpentine shape that helps support and makes this chair comfortable. So the first thing that I did is use those shapes to create some solid pieces here. That's a half of the back slat, and then there's the shape from the side view, and I connected those two pieces and then did an intersect command to create the back slat here, shown here. This is about 1/2 inch thickness, and it's without joinery at this stage. I just wanted to get that shape put together in a three-dimensional model. So then the next stage was to add the joinery. And it's very simple joinery here, a tenon on the top edge that goes up into the crest rail. Looks like that. It's about 1/4 inch thick. And then there's also a tenon down at the bottom that goes into the shoe. All of these 18th century chairs had these shoes that held the back slats in place. So the next stage then was to show all the dimensions of this component from both the side view and the front view, and also create the template from which I can then shape the piece in the shop. I also showed in this gray square background a size of a plank of wood about 1 inch thick, on which I can bandsaw out that shape, that serpentine shape. And that would be the first thing I'd do in the shop then, is bandsaw a rectangular piece of wood. This was all in walnut, by the way. And so then I bandsawed in the shop, but I wanted a template that would fit down into that bandsawed shape so that I could scribe around it for all of this scroll work on the edge. And so I created a flattened template. The one here on the left is a projection, but here on the right it's flattened out to its full length if it were pushed down into that serpentine shape. So I used that full-size template to mark out the scrolled edges of the piece. Then the last thing was creating this chamfer on the back perimeter. And it's about a 3/8 wide chamfer. This is an X-ray view, so you can see the chamfer in the back edge. I also just drew a little cross-section of that chamfer down here in this little diagram here. So the chamfer was created using a follow me tool on the back edge, and then the final component is here, and you can see as I look at it from the front, it looks very thin. You don't see the back edge because of this chamfer, and that makes this a beautiful chair as well. These kinds of details that were done in the design. So this is the steps that I went through to create all of these pieces, and because of SketchUp, it went together very well.